So we had a discussion on HTML and XML in the last session. Both of these were, similar and hand to hand. There was no such chronological order that, I have to, it was never necessary that I have to teach HTML and XML one after the other. There's no chronological order as such for that. But then yes, both had, very similarities. The tags, let's say body tag with opening and closing tags is something that is similar between the two skills. That's why I took it for the day one. So I clubbed it to the day one. Okay. And if you go to any other UI5 training sessions, no one would, start it by explaining by what is HTML, what is XML. So we are trying to take it from the very base, very, 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 even a non-IT folk, or even what you say, even a normal person, if he reads it, he should understand and he should be able to start coding at his own level. So the aim of the aim of this forum is basically this. Okay. So today, our agenda is, I have tried to cover three things. Not necessarily I will deep dive into all three. Okay. But then, yes, knowing what and how is important. So day two, it speaks, I hope my screen is visible, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Kumar.
Okay. So day two talks about JavaScript, JSON, and CSS. So before getting into it, what is JavaScript? It's advanced Java. So a basic Java, if you tell me, Kumar, do you know Java? I would say, sorry, I don't know. But then JavaScript are the levels above it. So what you say, the initial language, whichever a person develops, imagine how difficult C is. So C, then came C++, that's object-oriented programming. The first OOPS, object-oriented programming was first introduced in this world by C++. Initially, C didn't have it. So if I tell someone to go and code today in C, imagine how difficult life would be for him. So C, C Sharp, C++ are very old. Then came into picture the Java. Even Java coding, I find it very difficult. There are, experts of Java in market. So, there can be people who write excellent code in Java. They are used to it. Okay. But if you ask me, I know Java, I would say that's something that goes over my head. Sorry, but, and that was the biggest fear when I started with UI5 and when I heard that JavaScript is advanced of Java, or when I listening to the word Java, I used to have a fear that I don't know how to do it. So but then now eventually when I actually started learning JavaScript, it became a more easier thing. JS codes are, I would rather thank SAP for that they didn't use Java use in that. The scripting is used as JavaScript. So you have a flexibility to use JS, Angular JS, few codes from Ajax, and everything in JavaScript. Okay, so that is all about JavaScript. Next is JSON. The level of JavaScript you need for SAP UI5 is what I feel is good and is easy. It's not going to create problems while understanding. Next is JSON. JSON and XML are, they are mainly, I would say, data carriers. So next, JSON is again, it can be used for data model. And I guess some people say that, JSON is only for data. Okay, for the data binding. And then last is CSS. CSS is style sheet. So, you have a button, but you don't like its color. In the basic UI5 library, which they have given, they give a basically UI5 gives you different themes like Blue Crystal, or they will give you Belize or Fiori themes and so many others. If you don't like the color of the button or any input box given by UI5, or the theme or the color chosen by them, then you can give a good fonting, formatting, all that stuff can be done by CSS. So let's now deep dive into each of them. Once, I guess day one and day two is all about basics. Day three, you will be, the session after this, you will be understanding how to create your environment to start UI5. And maybe basics of UI5 app I may cover today, and then the environment for UI5 will be day 3, and then day 4 and day 5 will have much of coding, you know. So let's begin with JavaScript. So JavaScript is the world's most popular programming language. It says w3schools.com, it says that, and it's a it's a programming language of the web. So yes, when we are talking about web coding, it is JavaScript. So if you even open a Google website and you press F12 on your Chrome or IE, inspect element, when you try to do, most of the codes, even Instagram, most of the codes are there in JS. Just try to have a look at someday whenever you are free. The bins as in the binary codes, everything mostly comprises of JS. So how do you, let's begin with, how do you work with JavaScript? Okay. JavaScript will be mainly used in UI5 or in any skill set to give controls. Okay. I mean, you can also use it for giving views, but for now, let's try to understand, how to code. So giving a button or, simple things is okay. You can do it in body. But then what actually JavaScript does, I mean, we have already, we covered this. When I showed button in the last session, I was talking about, I guess, HTML. I shown a button, and on the click of that button, we seen that it says I am pressed. So even that is a kind of JavaScript. So whatever, first of all, what is there in JavaScript? Okay. Anything in HTML, when you write it in a script tag and you write that the script type is JS, then that is termed to be JavaScript. Now, here is an example of my first JavaScript. It says on click, it will try to find out the paragraph demo, and then it will give you is equal to date. Click me to display date and time is the button name. So on the click of that, you will get the date. And then I guess I was talking about, yeah, here you see script. This is the second sample which I'm talking about. The first one was very easy. I'll just demo it to you. It's very easy. So I did not, deep dive into it also. It's a very easy one. This second one is something that I was talking about, putting it into the script tag. So doc type HTML body, then header, you say JavaScript functions. P, this example calls a function which performs a calculation and results of the return and returns the result. So you are giving a paragraph and you're giving it an ID demo. ID can be anything. Okay, anything. You can put ID1, ID2, ID3 also. For demo purpose, we have given the ID as demo. ID is a unique way to find out which paragraph you want to hamper. It's like calling that paragraph. So let's go into script and see what is exactly inside it. Where means variable in JavaScript. Now we need to deep dive into coding. So where you will use var, where every time when you need to declare a variable, and a variable, you can give it any name, A to Z or ABC, XYZ. There are any names. Do not use same names in JavaScript. Do not, obviously you cannot have two variables. I mean, JavaScript allows that, but then what will happen? Suppose that you write where ABC is equal to 1, and then you write where ABC equals to 2. You are into a function. It is going to take the latest one, that is 2. And you will be like thinking, oh my God, I had made ABC as 1. Why it's becoming 2? So never give duplicate variables. Okay. And every web coding, when you give duplicate IDs, it throws an error. Try to understand the difference between duplicate ID and the duplicate variable. A variable can be duplicate. Let's say where X, and again I write where X. Okay, that is doable. JavaScript allows that. But then you see in the paragraph, I have given ID is equal to demo. If you give yet another paragraph or even a button with the ID demo, it will fail. It will say, it will throw an error that ID, unique identification cannot be 2. The same goes with variable. It's a best coding practices, never use same variable twice. So it says where X is equal to my function 4,3. So it says X is nothing but execute my function. And the variables, you see 4,3 are the two variables that, not even I would say variables, I would say parameters. Variable is X, okay. 4,3 are the two parameters that are passed to a function. parameters, you can say, inputs to that function. Okay. Now document.getElementById.innerHTML is equal to X. That means my paragraph, whatever is my paragraph, I am going to set that paragraph with X, whatever is there in the X, on maybe click of the button, or maybe, it's simple. It's a simple function. So what do you do in a script? You will write functions. What it says, function my function a comma b. And what do you mean by a comma b? A comma b are the input parameters of that function. Okay. Now it says return a multiply by b, a asterisk b. So what do you expect the result would be? Simple. What would be X? What would be displayed out of this code? You can try. It's a very simple thing. A into B. So I have passed 4 comma 3. It's as simple as 12, right? It's 12. So let's try to, let's just try to put this code in place and see if we can, uh, really understand what JavaScript is trying to do. I guess I already have one HTML page created earlier in the last demo. Okay. I guess I deleted it. So again, going to the steps, having a new text document in place. Okay. Know how to create an HTML file on our desktop. I'll take the simple function that I spoke about, a very simple one. To click current date time, maybe. 1 minute. Internet seems to be slow. Copy. Go here, paste. Okay. And then, as I said earlier, file, save as. Desktop, all files, put it as abc.html. And then I guess I have it already on desktop. Let's try to open this and see how it looks. Chrome is an awesome browser when it comes to UI5, but it's equally taking a lot of resources from your, from your system. So if you try to open Chrome, it's like I will take all the privileges. So it's slow. Equivalently, its performance is good. So the detailed analysis of the code, where error, which line error is occurring, Chrome is developer friendly, I would say. And that's why it is so slow, because it has to analyze so many things. So it says click me to display date and time. Simply, you see 1952 GMT plus 5:30, 5:50. Every second it is getting updated. So it's a very basic JavaScript code. Let me just update it with the new one, which I just spoke about. Let's see what is happening. I need to open this abc.html. Open with Notepad. And I'll save it, and let's refresh and see what's coming. It says 12. Now, if I try to pass it here 5 and save, it will give you 15. Now it's that simple. And I'm giving you this code. Okay, I have already provided these PPTs as handouts of this project. I mean, of this training course. You can put 2 input boxes. Google how to do it. Put 2 input boxes, and then a paragraph is fine. And then the result is You can write the name of the paragraph as, and the result is, put two input boxes and put a button. On the click of that button, call the same function and try whether you can create a dynamic multiplier or not. You know, so right now I'm putting it in the code itself, but you can try to build a calculator in HTML using JavaScript. Okay, so it's a simple one. Okay, I didn't try to, you know, boost everything at the very first level, so that's why I tried to make it simple. You can try that calculator. If you don't get it, come back to me. I guess that is going to be the assignment for today's date. If not, I will put it as a part of assignment. Okay. So JSON, next is JSON. What do you understand by a JSON? So it says JavaScript object notation. It's a lightweighted format for storing data and transporting it. As I said, XML and JSON both are responsible for what? For transporting the data from one application to another, from one layer of the IT system to the another. So JSON is often used when data is sent from server to a web page, mostly. Okay. Then JSON rules you need to understand now. At team, you need to focus more. Now the things are going to be a bit difficult. Okay. Uh, I mean, how do I say? JSON and CSS is still fine. JSON, to understand its format, its rule, you need a lot of attention and focus. So let's try to see what JSON rules are. A data is always a name value pair. So the name of the node and then its value. So let's say name is first name. I mean, the object is first name and then its value is John. Okay. Then data is always separated by commas. Let's say you have two name value pairs, then you have first name John, last name Doe, and you always have it in curly braces. Okay. When you have multiple objects, you always have it in curly braces. Then the last rule is when you have arrays of data. So it's not only John Doe, you have Anna Smith, you have Peter Jones as well. Okay, when the number of people increases here, or let's say I'm putting yet another into this, Kumar Gangwani, the first name and the last name. At the time, you need to put it in a square bracket. So just how you put array in JavaScript, you have a square bracket similar to that is here. Here, employees, you see the employees is the root node, I would say. To explain the same thing in XML, I would say employees, then first name, last name. I mean, employees consist of first name, last name, first name, last name. I mean, an employees will consist of multiple employee nodes. And then that employee node will have value first name, last name. So let me just try to explain you the same thing in XML. It will be more clear. Over here, it's like this: employees, then you have employee, then you have first name, then you have last name. So as I was talking, I mean, you don't see the employee tag here. In the JSON, I have skipped this employee. All I mean to say is employees. Okay, bookstore employees, and then let me just copy this over. I don't need this book anymore. So first name, and then last name. Okay, so the same thing in XML would look like this. That's what I mean to explain. Okay, Harry Potter, and then JK Rowling. Just try to relate it with XML, then you will understand it more. So this employee is one array. Then this is the second array. And employees is the array of employee. So let's go to our code. It's like employees may consist multiple employees. I mean, I don't have this employee thing here. Okay. But yes, you can include it, you know, because an employees will consist of multiple employee, and then like this. So that's what, you know, I was trying to explain. This is XML and this is its JSON version. If you try to convert XML to JSON, it will look something like this. Okay, Then over to next, I guess JSON, only that much is there. Okay, it's a data thing. Similar to XML, it got ended up early, but JSON is, since the curly braces, and then what you have other thing is square brackets. All those things needs to be very, very carefully, taken care of. So I said we need focus. Next is CSS. It stands for cascading style sheets. As I said, you don't need to use the standard view, look and feel of what UI5 has given you, what SAP has given you. So let's say you have header in the HTML. If you go back, I have talked about this many times. Sorry. So you have this header. Okay, you have it over here, the header H2. Then you have a paragraph P, and then you have a body also. You want to give a different look and feel to each of these. Okay, so for that case you will use CSS, and each of these are nothing but they are called as classes. When you try to declare your body or your view, how does it looks in a web page, so actually you are giving them all a class. So those classes can be, those classes, I would say, can be given CSS as like this. So body, entire body background color should be light blue. Then H1. Okay, H1 color should be, the heading should be white and the text align should be center. Then the paragraph font family Verdana and font size is equal to 20 pixel. Let's try this. Okay, this is a code piece HTML. I write body background blue H1, and then this is my first class, and I have given a header, I have given a paragraph, and I have given a body, and then I'm also trying to give CSS to it. Remember, CSS is always written in a style tag of HTML. You see, I'm crossing different places. I'm going to JavaScript, I'm going to XML, I'm going to JSON, I'm going to CSS, but eventually I am coming back to HTML. This is something that's going to change your, what do you say? You are going to change your perception now. The HTML file in UI5 is binding everything. It's the end product that you give to the user. Okay. All other stuff you keep doing, but HTML is, it has CSS, it has JavaScript code, it has view, it has body, everything is under that HTML. So let's try to see how the CSS works. Okay, let's try to copy this code over. I mean, I have two pieces now. Let's go back to the abc.html, paste, and then I have this paragraph. This is another part. And you can select language as HTML just as to understand, you're not making mistakes somewhere. You see, it's, and the HTML ends with HTML, head ends with head, style ends with style, body has its own end, header has its own, paragraph has its own. Let's try to save this and see what do we have. And just see this text. It was also a paragraph. I don't know whether it was Vildana or not. Let's reload and see. Now what's the text? So it says the body is blue. This my first CSS example. Now it goes to white, and this is the paragraph. The fonting is different. That's where CSS makes your life easy. User comes to you and he tells you, I don't like this color. You just can't go to SAP and say, hey SAP, your blue crystal theme is good, but in that button I want red and green color. SAP will say, you have CSS for that. Why are you coming to me? I mean, the libraries of JS, what I have created, are standard. You can break it anytime. Standard look is what, what looks good. Just how you go to PowerPoint presentation, they will give you standard templates. The orange color looks good with the dark brown. Some PPT designs, they will give you standard. Okay, but then if you want to change a color, it's still in your hands, and that changing color or that styling is known as CSS in case of web coding, cascading style sheets. So I guess I am done. Okay, the assignment for today is like keep practicing CSS and forming JSONs. You already have my PPTs and handouts with you. please, 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 if all our sessions are ended and you start coding after that, no use. You have day one now, you are trying to experience HTML, you are trying to experience CSS. We just saw what magic CSS did. We just saw what JavaScript does. Don't delay in practicing. Whatever is there in the PPT, whatever is there in the handouts, take that code, scratch it. So as I said, JSONs can be validated online using JSON lint. Last time I gave you for XML, xmlgrid.net. Similarly, JSON can be validated on jsonlint.com. Try to create your own JSONs, first name, last name, mobile number, you know. You can create strict JSONs also. The data can be only this, not other than that. You can go to W3 schools, you can pick up sample JSONs and validate, create your own JSONs and see, validate your JSON. Are you really being a good coder? Are you really writing a good JSON or not? Because this JSON is going to be the data for your UI moving forward. Let me tell you this very frankly. Either a JSON or XML. These will be the two models that we will be using going forward. So don't start it at a later time. Start practicing now, today. So you have JSONs to do, and I already given an assignment. I mean, if we have time enough, because the first two sessions are very small. Huh? Later sessions may boost up, or we may need to join twice. Okay, so let's see if we can do it. I mean, I had this already with us. This code we already had it. I don't know if I can do it, huh? But let's see how to give an input in paste. So I have given a paragraph and I've given it as demo. Let me see if I can put an input. First, let's see if we can really put an input. I think we should be, otherwise that's something, maybe Google. Google is my best friend. Okay, so it's giving a form. Okay, even form is good. Label input, label input. Okay, type is submit and type is text. Let's try to see this. Let's try to put this form in there. Let's first see what magic it does in the form. Okay, first number, second number, and then last is submit. Then I need to see wherein how to call the function on the submit. Or maybe I just put a button there. Maybe I just put a button there instead of, let's see. Let's put a button. We had button in our previous HTML, right? Over here. And see, even I'm not that good at HTML, because UI5, when you jump into UI5, you don't need to do that much HTML, okay? On click is equal to this, okay. Type is equal to button, and on click is equal to my function. So I will, I will try to comment it. JavaScript commenting is double slash. Okay, XML, HTML, I will tell you. We'll take it in maybe further sessions how to comment other code. So I I have commented my function on the initial load, and I have tried to put it on the button. Let's see what happens. Or maybe it's a failure. Okay, I made some mistake. And let's just call it and see. No. Okay. Then this button, okay, I have not closed it. That's the mistake, and it's taking the next paragraph as also as button. No.
In the function, you need to pass variable A or B, like 4 or 3, something like that. Function you are calling directly.
Yes, 4,3. You have
Function
a good
have
point.
2 inputs.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Let's see if we can. Nope. I guess I'm doing some wrong thing in the on click. 1 minute. Go back to the button. Let's see how we have the function. Okay, it's like over there itself. You need to write the code. It seems. Okay. Document dot get element. Let's do it in this way. I will take this variable x over here. Okay. This is where x is equal to my function. Let me do it like this, where x, I will declare variable x here to make it global for the script. Okay. And then here I simply write where x is equal to a into b. Okay. And then this thing, you see, document dot get element is equal to x. This I will put it over here in double quotes. Let's see if we get some success. I'll explain you what I done. Okay. It should. It's not on the click. Maybe I don't think we have come up with this now. Maybe give me some time. Okay, in the next session we will come on this. If you find some solution, I don't want to waste much time on this, because the gist of it is you have a button here, and that on click of that button you should pop up the result. Okay, that's the aim of this HTML. I mean, I can do it not upfront now in the session. You can also try it offline. Okay, and then later maybe we can take it, if not today, in the next session maybe. So yes, keep practicing, Jason. CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, keep validating your JSONs and try to finish the assignment which I given. Or if not, I will also try to bring that assignment later. Okay, in the next session. Maybe I already have the answer for them in the next session, but till then, you try to do it. Okay, you try to do it. So that's all for today. Sorry, I cannot make it. I cannot make this work today, but I'll keep working on this. You also try simultaneously, and in the next session, maybe we have the answer. And that's how. That's what coding is all about. That's what developing is all about. You don't get everything in Monday. Okay. So that's all. Let me just stop the recording, and then maybe we can talk. Recording.